In this tutorial, I'll show you how to add billing information for patients, create charges, and create claims. To add a new payer for the patient, click the Add button. From the drop-down list, you'll see those payers that are active for your practice. If the insured is different than the patient, click the Other toggle button in order to enter identifying information about the insured person. Continue adding policy details for that patient, including copay amount if it's a primary insurance. The next thing to do is to add any authorizations that you've received for treatment of the patient. Create a description for the authorization and then pick from one of the insurance companies for that patient. In addition to the authorization number, you can specify date range, number of allowed treatments, and approved CPT codes as needed. On the authorization list page, the green circle indicates that this is still a valid authorization by date. The billing detail section is where the information is gathered for payer claim submission and statement creation. The information on this screen represents what would be a case in other billing software. In SupraMed, we're only allowing a single set of billing details to be active at a time. You could specify the referring provider and either their name from the existing list of providers, or you can add one on the fly. Choose which of the patient's insurance policies will be primary and which would be secondary. Additional information required on the claims form can be added here, and qualifiers to the dates can be specified. If authorization information needs to appear on the claim form, you can select it here from the items that you had previously entered. You're now ready to start entering charges that will then be converted into claims. There are three ways to enter charges in SupraMed. The first is by using the SupraBill. The SupraBill is accessed from either the calendar or from the dashboard for those using SupraMed Complete. There's a separate tutorial that shows how to use the SupraBill. The SupraBill would typically be completed by the physician or the physician assistant at the time of the office visit. It's not necessary for the physician to specify the amount or the diagnosis codes, but in order for this to be billed to a third-party payer, the charges need to be specified as billed to insurance. Once the SupraBill is saved, the charges that were entered appear in the charges list. The charges list is accessed by the biller through the money section. Here the biller can make any modifications, can add information that was missing, or can add additional charges to that same encounter. The second way of entering charge information is through the Create Charges section. This screen shows a list of encounters that have been specified to bill insurance, but where no charge information has been entered through the SupraBill. You can filter the list for a specific patient or provider. Click on the blue plus sign in order to get to the Charges screen. Double check that all the information that's required is included. Then continue entering charge information as before. The third way of entering charges is through the Add Blank Charge button. This would be how you would add charges for encounters that weren't even in the schedule. An example of that would be an emergency room consultation. Because this is a blank charge, all the information related to the patient's name, the place of service, and the date of the encounter needs to be added, as well as the charge information. Now that all the charges have been entered, you can create the claim. Go back to the charges list, and you can either specify all of the charges or some of the charges for which to create claims. SupraMed will combine like charges into a single claim. When claims are created, an initial validation is done to make sure that all required fields are complete. If the claim passes validation, it's listed as ready to bill. Claims with missing information are listed as incomplete. You can then review the claim by clicking Edit Claim. This brings up the Edit Claim form where all the information that would be submitted with the claim is shown. Required fields that are missing are shown in orange. Information can be directly entered in this screen until all the missing fields are complete. When you save the screen after completing all the fields, the claim status will be updated to Ready to Bill. Once a claim has status of Ready to Bill, one of the options is to put the claim on hold. This would be used if you need to do some further investigation into the charges prior to submitting the claim to insurance. While a claim is on hold, no further processing of the claim takes place. You can also manually change the status of the claim, although this usually happens automatically during processing. Since this claim was for an insurance company that accepts paper claims, a print icon is available. Submitting a paper claim requires printing on a pre-printed 1500 form. Printing this form updates the status of the claim to billed. The claim can also be reprinted from this screen if necessary. That completes this tutorial on printing claims in SupraMed.